welcome once again to another program here at Bradley Central. Talking about the slice of life here at Bradley Central. We always talk about different things, athletics, programs, and things of that nature. We had the librarian on a couple weeks ago and talked to her for a while. Today we're going to talk about the music side of things here. In other words, the Bradley Central Marching Band, being joined now by Nolan Palace and Ashley Gardner, the two directors of the band program here at Bradley, the great marching band we see every Friday night, including last Friday at Maryville. Had the full company of the band there look like, and put on another good show for us and all that. Guys, let's talk about you. I know you teach band and work with the band, the marching band, and you have flag twirler.
Color guard.
Yes, color guard, and that's who helped with that?
Our
Bree.
color guard coach, Bree Gamble.
Miss Bree, yeah, Bree Gamble we call her. But you also teach. What do you teach besides working with the band?
Yeah, so I teach TVEC Music History, which is a Tennessee Valley early college program. So they get a credit at Chattanooga State, and it's music history all the way back to the Middle Ages until now. So that's one of my courses.
Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy digging into the old guys? Is that?
Yeah, it's fun. I think the kids get a little bored though. So.
Well, it's not this modern day hip-hop or rap, whatever a lot of them like to listen to. Ashley, you teach another class besides working with the band as well?
I do. I teach general music here, and that's a class that all the incoming freshmen are required to take as half of their fine arts credit, or they can take theater or art one. But kids who are not necessarily musicians are still going to be future parents of kids who one day might come home with a clarinet case wanting to play.
Oh, yeah.
So we just teach them about, general music, terms that they can use, like songwriting, and also like what are instruments and instrument families and things like that. So
I asked you both before, what instrument do you play?
I play clarinet.
Clarinet? Trumpet. Can you teach a student here who can't play either one of those how to play those? Is that something you could do if they were asking you? Okay.
Yeah, we've had beginner students in 9th grade before, so we've done it before, and we'll probably do it again.
Oh, well, I'm sure you probably will there. Do you have a favorite type of music personally that you like if you're out on the road in your own car and you're cruising around, windows down, hair blowing if you had hair and all that? Do you have a personal type of music that you enjoy? You like all of them? Or?
I like most music, but I do really enjoy country music.
How about you, Ashley?
Yeah, I actually really hate this question because
Forget I ask it then. You don't have to answer it.
Yeah, for musicians, I think we have such a deep appreciation for music across the board that if you're in the car with me, there's no telling what might come on the playlist. I know he's the same way. But lately I've really liked the artist Khalid, which is sort of like pop, soul sort of genre.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm an old guy from the 60s era, when I was in high school in the 60s, so I'm in the 60s, 70s, that classic rock of the 80s, stuff like that. Tell us about this year's band now. What's your size, and sort of what's your class breakdown? Is it heavy on seniors or light on seniors? Or I know that shifts every year. But.
Yeah, so last year we were really heavy on seniors. This year we're actually a pretty young band. We're made up of mostly 9th and 10th graders. Our senior class is the smallest. It only has 15 students in it right now. And we're right about 90 students right now. So it's a pretty good size group, and it's really young, so mainly freshmen and sophomores.
With being young like that, since you don't have a carryover from last year, do you have to simplify your routines and marching patterns? How do you come up with those anyway? I mean, I know it changed from year to year based on probably on the theme of this year, which is what? What is the theme this year?
So the theme this year is called Strings, and it is actually a brainchild of Miss Garner. She came up with this whole concept of puppeteer. Actually, you go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. Last year, I had this idea. It would be so cool to do a marching band show based around a puppet master theme. So if the drum major comes out and he's like showing the crowd when he tests with his hands that he's controlling the puppets on the field, and then as the show goes along, they start to realize that they are puppets and they don't really like that. So someone sort of starts taking control and taking the lead, and then they sort of rebel, and he's starting to lose control. And then that whole brainchild I took Palace, and he was like, I don't know how we would ever do that because you have to have all original music, all original drill, and you have to pay people to do stuff like that. And we were like, okay, so I just kind of gave up on the idea for a little bit, and then Mr. Palace came back at some point and said that he wanted to try it, and he would be the one that writes the music and the drill. So I'll let him talk a little bit about that, because he sort of took my dream and made it come to life, and that was really rewarding. He's getting to see his own labors come to life when the band does it, so it's been really cool.
So it's original music that you've written yourself?
Yeah, so I wrote all the wind parts, so all the instruments except for percussion, I wrote all those parts, and I wrote the drill for the field. So when they're moving in their formations, all of that's handwritten.
Well, with a young band like you have here, with so many underclassmen there, what's the toughest part about, I know I was in high school, believe it or not, one time, and I know that, I wasn't the most calm kid in the classroom and all, but is it easy to control? You got 100, you got more than a football team by far, more than anybody else. And you travel to these road games, and you've got buses and all that.
So we're kind of the belief that students will always rise to your expectations. So we set extremely high expectations from the get-go, and they know that we're pretty serious about them. And we are hard on them, we're tough on them, but we always make sure to always tell them how much we love them, how much they mean to us, and that, without them, we wouldn't have a band program. They are the band program.
Right.
So they always rise to the occasion, and we very rarely have issues with that.
Well, that's fantastic. And they're representing the band in the high school out there in public or even away from school. And that's what we remind these kids so much during the year. Actually, I'm up here sometimes during summer, and you guys are here. You don't wait till the start of school, start band practice. You're here in a horrible heat of summer. You're out here on the pavement a lot of times, we're up here on the track, and that's got to be tough, for anybody. And then Friday night, we're out here in these uniforms, which, not the coolest, I wouldn't think. So how do the kids handle it? How do you guys handle it even? Is it hard fighting the heat and preparing? Because people who are not involved with a band or have a parent in the band, a child in the band, they have no idea how much you practice. It's not like we show up on Friday nights and start blowing our horn. No, it's not like that. But when do you start your practice officially, I guess, back during summertime?
Yeah, so it's basically the last 3 full weeks of July. We start with percussion and guard, and then the second week, everybody else joins us, and they're there for the next 2 weeks. To answer the first part of your question, when Nolan and I were in college at Lee University, we were taught sort of a model by Angela Duckworth about grit. And what is grit? And grit basically is not about how smart you are, not about how much talent you do or don't have, but about your willingness to persevere through the hard things and get up and just keep going, and to just dig a little deeper when things get hard, and then you dig a little deeper after that. So these kids come out, and we try to warn them, don't sit on your couch all summer in the air conditioning, go outside and get in the heat a little bit. And the kids, I think, sometimes have a rude awakening a little bit, but everybody brings such good energy that I think even when they start to get tired, we're always pushing them, always reinforcing, like, you guys can do this, just dig a little deeper, and then they do. And I think that when they find that they haven't done that and dug deeper, that it's not so hard to do it again,
And it's just like in sports, if you make a mistake, you blow the wrong note or whatever, you got to forget about it. You cannot dwell on it, because it's just going to make it worse, if you start thinking about it, you just mess you up there. The music that you use, if it's not original like this and you get it from another program, do you come up with the marching routines, or is this something that's out there on the internet? You can say, okay, I like the way this band did this for this school or this college, whatever. Do you come up with the absolute marching routines, the steps and how they march and into formation and all that, or how's that get developed? I've never asked that question.
There's a lot of resources out there, and it's kind of a mix and mash. Some of the things you can go online and look up, but for the most part, it's all handmade. It's all planned out for, if we need to make this move and this amount of counts, how are we going to do that and make it look correct? So then we just kind of develop our own marching routines based on that.
Well, it's fun to watch you guys play, and you're doing a great job. And every week we have the halftime show, unless something prevents that, and the post-game show, which is always there. And that's great, because it gives the parents who work the concession stand an opportunity to go watch their kids play and do their thing there. unencumbered by anything else going on, you know.
Exactly.
So, if we can get the field cleared.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes an issue, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like to thank you both for being here today, Ashley Garner and Nolan Palace here. I call you Nolan, it's Nolan Palace here on the Bear Network, talking about the Bradley Central High School marching band and all the things behind the scenes that a lot of people probably wouldn't know about unless you're involved heavily with the band there. But thanks for being here today. Until next time, have a great show. Friday night we got Walker Valley here, and does it get you more fired up? You've got Cleveland or Walker coming in, then you see a Tyner or somebody like that. I mean, they don't even have a band, I don't think, at times. They did. They brought a band, a small band.
They have a small band, yeah.
Is there a different feel for you guys and the kids preparing for a game like that?
I think the kids are more fired up, focused, fired up, or whatever you want to call it. But for us, it's kind of, we try to make every show the best we can. So.
Well, that's very good. We're going to sign off for now here on the Bear Network. Until next time, stay so long for now. God bless, and go Bears!